Hello and welcome to one and all. So we'll continue now with the causes for poverty again. So two more points are left over. That is the policy as of now. What the government is adopting is the LPG model of growth. So again, the LPG model of growth, it is favoring only the agricultural. Sorry, it is favoring one mainly the industrial sector and more so the tertiary sector. So agricultural sector is totally ignored in this LPG model of growth. And you know that majority of the population in our country, they are depending on agriculture. So they are not benefiting anything out of this LPG model of growth. So only the few sections who are depending on the tertiary sector and the industrial sector. So we have seen, isn't it, only hardly 20% or 22% are depending each both on tertiary sector and the secondary sector. So only those people are benefiting out of the this LPG model of growth planned by the government. So this majority of the people who are depending on agriculture, they are not able to benefit out of the LPG model of growth. Basically, what is this LPG model of growth? I mean, all the investment, all the concentration, everything, the focus is totally going to the secondary and tertiary sector, totally ignoring the agricultural sector. So that is the main source of livelihood, isn't it, for the majority of the population in our country. So they are again being pushed further in the clutches of poverty. So that is what the LPG model of growth. Basically, what it is doing, it bypasses agriculture, meaning it neglects the agriculture. It is favoring only the secondary and more so the tertiary sector. But agriculture is the main source of livelihood for the majority of population in India. All the investment, all the attention, all the facilities, including the foreign assistance, everything is going only for the tertiary sector and the secondary sector. Only they are able to benefit. Okay, and also this encourages capital intensive technique. So this strategy encourages capital intensive technique, that is more machinery than labor. Because if the production quality has to be according to the latest standards, which is happening all over the globe, then it is not possible with the labor intensive technique. So it is, so if India has to compete with that globalization process along with the other countries of the world, then India also has to adopt the capital intensive technique. So automatically, so more and more laborers are being displaced with machinery, so they become unemployed. So this capital intensive pattern of development has not benefited the majority of labor force in India, increasing the levels of poverty. See, everything has a side effect. There are two sides of a coin, we say, isn't it? So if you adopt labor intensive, you have to, and the quality has to be at the cost of quality. If we adopt the capital intensive, unemployment will happen. So everything has a side effect. So, but as far as poverty is concerned, I mean, the labor force in India is concerned, they were not able to benefit the because of the capital intensive and the globalization model. Seeing the levels of poverty. Okay. Then the last reason is the, which we have been seeing from the beginning, the social factors. So our institutional customs, traditions, so all the socio superstition beliefs, illiteracy, all those are preventing the poorer sections of the population to have the modern attitudes. So that is again pushing them, keeping them in the levels of poverty. So in India, people are caught in the vicious circle of poverty due to the prevalence of outdated socio cultural institutions, illiteracy, I mean highlighted, outdated socio-cultural institution, illiteracy, ignorance, religious ideas, casteism, so many things are there, isn't it? Which are all the outdated, all these things are prevailing in our country. And of course, even the joint family system. So all these are not favoring the people to earn more levels of income. That's the problem. It is not as it is bad. Joint family system is not really bad, but then it is preventing the people to earn more and more levels of income. It acts as a hindrance. So in that way, it is not favoring the poorer sections of the population. So illiteracy, all this prevents people from adopting the modern ideas and techniques whereby they could increase their income and come above the poverty line. So their own ignorance and superstitious beliefs are keeping them below the poverty line. So these are all the various causes of poverty in our, I mean, some of them put it, there are even so many other causes, but majority, these are all the causes of poverty in our country. Okay. So next we'll move on to what are all the consequences of poverty. So basically, the poverty in the country, they have divided the entire country into two types, rich and poor, or it is so divided the country into two. That is, one section of the population they are called haves, that is, they are the richer sections. Another sections of the population, they are the have-nots. They are the poorer sections of the population. So that is what the poverty has done. So the entire country has been divided into two types, rich and poor, or haves and have-nots. So which is having a very serious effects on the society. So that's what the consequences of poverty. So the first one is the something called as unequal opportunities. So who will have the better opportunity? The haves will all the opportunities. The have-nots will not have any opportunity. So that's what they are not even getting the basic necessities of life. So the haves that is the richer sections, are able to get all the facilities, while the have-nots, the poorer sections, don't even get the basic needs, isn't it? So that is the unequal opportunities. Again, the next, so this concentration of economic power. So this concentration of economic power both acts as a cause as well as an effect. Concentration of economic power. So the wealth is vested only with a few hands. So poverty is both the cause and effect of concentration of economy. Because you are poor, you are not able to get a better education, so your income earning opportunity is less. Because your income earning opportunity is less, you are becoming poor. So it is both the cause as well as the effect. So whoever can afford that, they get the better opportunity, so the wealth will be vested in their hands. So this is a effect of concentration of economic power. So, and another problem is this enables the richer sections to attain the with the uh, being super rich, they are able to get the political favors also. They are able to get the political power also. That is another problem of the concentration of economic power. So this also enables the rich to attain the political power. So they both have the economic power as well as they get the political power also because of their wealth. Then the third consequence is inefficiency. So if you're not properly educated, if you're not, don't have the opportunity to get the proper training skill and all, how will you be efficient? So you will be inefficient. If you are inefficient, again, your income earning opportunity is less. So due to lack of opportunities for proper education and skill, the poor become inefficient in the production process. So if you are inefficient, your per capita productivity is less, then you are not going to get earn more and more amount of income, isn't it? So again, you continue to be poor. Then fourth one, problem of who will employ you if you are inefficient. So that leads to another problem of if a person is properly skilled, qualified, then employment opportunities will increase. Otherwise, the employment opportunities will also be not there. So again, due to the same inefficiency, the poor do not get better job opportunities. So they get only that physical manual work, which pays a very less, meager income to them. Okay. So at least some of them get that, some of them don't even get that. So what happens finally? The unemployment rate in the country keeps on increasing. So the unemployment rate increases in the country. So if the unemployment rate increases in the country, the progress of economic development is not smooth. So which affects the progress of economic development. So which hinders the country's progress. Okay. Then the fifth one is the income inequalities. We already know that haves have the more income, have-nots do not have the any income. So that income inequalities. So it doesn't end with only the income inequalities. It creates a feeling of insecurity among the poorer sections of the population. So, so if you are having a stable income, definite source of income, you have that security, economic security. But if that is not there, the stable income is not there, then you lose that protection, you lose that security. So poverty also increases the income gap and creates a feeling of insecurity among the, you don't know whether you will have money for tomorrow to consume food, isn't it? So if you're not having the stable income earning opportunity, stable job, that insecurity keeps on arising in the poor, among the poorer sections of the population. Okay. Then another major problem of poverty is poverty leads to increases the crime rates in the country. So people resort to all sorts of theft, whatever the, because they are poor, they are hungry, so they start stealing, they start robbing the people. So the crime rate keeps on increasing in the country. So there is said that there is a direct relation between levels of poverty and the levels of crime, the rates of crime in the country. So being poor and homeless. So many poor people resort to crime, and this leads to all the social unrest in the country. This leads to social unrest. So if the social unrest is there, automatically the society or the country will not be stable. Even politically also, the country will not be stable. Then seventh, malnutrition. So if the people are not consuming that required amount of nutritional diet, then most of the people will be suffering from malnutrition, especially the children. Okay. So most of the poor families, especially children. So in India itself, it is found that approximately 15% of the children, of the total children, 15% are malnourished in the country. So children, in spite of we are having the, as of today, our health facilities are much advanced compared to what it was earlier. But still, when you say that nearly 15 to 20% of the children in our country are malnourished. On the one hand, we say that India is the second or the third largest pool of scientists in the world. India is among the top five, five most developing countries in the world. All those things we keep on saying, but then at the same time, the other side of the coin, we also have the maximum number of malnourished children in our country. So that shows the inequality, the extent of inequalities in our country, isn't it? Proper, nutritious food. And other major consequences, both health and education. The health. So one of the most severe problems of poverty is the poor health standards. So people cannot afford to get that proper health facilities. Okay? As they are prone to diseases and also cannot afford proper treatment. So it is said that ill health makes even the rich person also to become a poor person, because the health expenditure is something like that. So then you can imagine what will be the situation of a poorer person if he's affected with any disease or anything, isn't it? And then the last one, education. Obviously, the poorer families, they won't be able to send their children to proper schools or university colleges or anything, so they continue to become, uh, they won't even finish their primary level of education, so generation after generation they become poor. So poor people or families also cannot afford proper educational facilities. Hence, most of them they remain illiterate. So that's why the Nobel laureate Amartya Sen said that education should be within the proper quality education should be within the reach of each and every citizen of a country. It should not be catering only to the very few elite sections of the population. So he always suggested that if education is within the reach of each and every person, every family in the country, they will study properly and they will take care of themselves. So he always advised the government to see to it that everyone in the country should be getting the accessible free education. Quality free education should be accessible to each and every citizen of the country. So if that is there, everyone will be educated and they will get the employment opportunity. They will get more and more amount of income and they can take care of themselves. So, but this is not happening in our country. Hence, many poor people, they remain illiterate. Okay. So these are all the consequences of poverty. So in the next class, so we have finished with the inequalities and we have finished with the poverty levels. The next topic is the unemployment. So all the three are go hand in hand. Inequalities in distribution of income and wealth, poverty, as well as the unemployment. So the some of the what are the various types of unemployment, and again what are all the causes, consequences, and what are the remedial measures for both poverty and unemployment. So we will check out in the coming classes. Okay. So hope it is clear to all of you. So if you find this video useful, please like, share, and subscribe. And until my next class, next video, please take care. Bye bye.